Let's learn more about a frightening flight from London to Singapore that hit severe turbulence. A Singapore Airlines 777 was over the Andaman Sea near Myanmar. 71 people were treated at a hospital in Bangkok after the plane made an emergency landing, including 6 who are now severely injured. A 73-year-old British man also died on the flight, and authorities now say he likely had a heart attack. John Nance is joining us. He's an ABC News aviation expert. John, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining us here. Turbulence is normally detected on cockpit radar. So what happened here?
Well, it really isn't. That's one of the things we worry about. We can see a buildup, for instance, of clouds or cumulonimbus on radar. But if it isn't producing a lot of lightning and it isn't producing the sort of thing that radar can detect, you can fly right into a terrible upset and not have any warning at all. That's where technology has not caught up with the situation yet.
You've seen the pictures from inside the Singapore Airlines 777 that had this problem over Southeast Asia. Describe what the cabin looked like afterwards.
Well, remember that airplanes have to have a lot of concern about weight. So some of the panels that you see that look so solid inside of an airplane are not. And if you shake that airplane, that interior, some of that's going to come down. And that doesn't mean that you're going to have heavy things falling on your head. But if you get the compartments overhead opening, then you're going to spill baggage all over the place. That's what this looks like to me. Basically, the aircraft got shaken. It can take far more than we can as human beings. But that shaking opens doors, knocks panels off, and anybody who's not strapped in is going to be airborne.
That explains why we're seeing what we're seeing, why it looks that way. Is there anything pilots can do to reduce the impact of turbulence? What they can do in terms of maneuvers with the airplane?
When you encounter this, you try to get out of it as fast as you can. If it's severe turbulence, which is what we have here, that means that you're being bounced around so badly in the cockpit you can barely read the instruments. And they usually is not anything more than about a 20 or 30-second encounter. So there's not really much you can do. On flights that have a little bit of chop, that sort of thing, yes, we can climb, and we do all the time to try to climb or descend and find smoother air. But this sort of monster is one that we still haven't been able to solve.
We discovered we actually get a lot of turbulence in and out of the RDU airport. The most turbulent flight path anywhere in the country, among the top 10, is between RDU and Nashville. The number 4 is RDU and JFK, and number 7 on the top 10 list is RDU to Pittsburgh. Is there any explanation for why we have so many turbulent flights in and out of our airport?
Well, not a pat explanation, but there are some. For instance, if we're lower altitude, climbing, descending, and any of those routes, the possibility of bad weather blowing through from the Midwest will give you that type of turbulence, and sometimes it's severe. At higher altitude, it's not going to be affected by terrain or mountainous areas because that's just not the situation there. But you are still subject to jet stream activity and a lot of disturbance in the Midwest that continues to move across. Remember that we are now in the throes of beginning to see the effects of global warming, and it is having an effect. And we'll see more and more severe turbulence at times that we are unable to avoid.